We are going to witness the greatest wealth transfer in history from the older generation to the younger generation, non-crypto holders to crypto holders, and 94% of crypto owners are under the age of 40. And as banks continue to fail and fiat money continues to lose value and central bank digital currencies rise, money will flow into crypto, but it will take time. Warren Buffett is famous for stating the stock market is a device to transfer money from the impatient to the patient. And I believe this same will be true for crypto. Money will flow from the impatient to the patient. And of course, Warren Buffett doesn't like crypto. Actually, he hates it.
About 5 years ago, we asked Charlie Munger, we were sitting right there, what he thought of Bitcoin, and he said, rat poison. Yeah. Back then it was about $100+ per Bitcoin. Today it's 9,000. Is it still rat poison?
Well, probably rat poison squared.
But it doesn't mean I don't respect the guy. I've learned a lot from him. But it doesn't mean that I have to agree with everything he says. And of course, Warren Buffett is from an older generation. He made his money in a different era. So why should he pay attention to crypto? But it's really that simple. Money moves from the impatient to the patient. And it's alarming how many people in crypto think something like Bitcoin goes straight up. That's not how it works. If we look at Bitcoin's run up in 2017 from 1,000 to 20,000, a 20x, there were multiple crashes along the way. Bitcoin is an emerging asset. It is very volatile, however, in an upward trajectory. Crypto has warped our minds into thinking that everything just goes straight up in 1 week or in 1 month, but for the most part, it doesn't work that way. I've had my moments where I put in $10,000 into an NFT and 2 weeks later, sold it for $40,000, but that's not common. That's not what usually happens for me. For the most part, my success in crypto so far has been due to being patient, dollar cost averaging, and buying crypto during the times where everyone else is scared. And although I am long-term, I do keep a small portion on the side for high-risk coins and high-risk NFTs. And I know many of you watching are over the age of 40. I can see in my analytics there are people in their 40s, 50s, and even 60s watching these videos. And I love to see this, and I hope that these numbers grow. And the younger generation is embracing crypto. Here's a video of someone paying with Bitcoin in Germany. And here's a video of someone buying ice cream in Brazil with Bitcoin. Meanwhile, Ireland's central bank governor has called Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme. No, that's banking. Banks run on fractional reserves. They don't actually have your money. Banks are sophisticated Ponzi schemes, but don't take it from me.
And banks exist on the basis of trust. They're really just, don't take this the wrong way, sophisticated Ponzi schemes.
And the Fed revealed that 722 banks reported unrealized losses over 50% of capital at the end of the third quarter of 2022. And this is very important. Please pay attention. This is from Arthur Hayes, founder of BitMEX. He states US government will be forced to print money to save political elite, pumping Bitcoin and gold. Really listen to this. The only way the money printer doesn't go burr is if the United States government decides it will let the banking system actually fail. But I have full confidence that the US political elite would rather print money than right-size the banking system.
Your ATM is safe, your banks are safe, there's enough cash in the financial system, and there is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. An infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. An infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
And he sees two options. If inflation stays high and the Fed continues raising rates, or even just keeps them where they are today, then more banks will fail. We'll see more too big to fail bailouts, and the government will continue to support the creation of larger and larger too big to fail banks. This would expand the supply of money and gold, and Bitcoin would rally. And if inflation falls and the Fed cuts rates quickly, eventually banks would stop failing, but this would reduce the price of money and gold and Bitcoin would rally. All in all, you just can't lose owning gold and Bitcoin, I will add, over the long term, unless you believe the political elite is willing to stomach a complete failure of the banking system, which they're probably not going to do. Banks are failing in public, and the secret is out, and the younger generation is tired. The younger generation is stuck with student loan debt. They can't afford cars. They can't afford homes, and they're sick of it. Fiat money only goes down. There's no upside in holding it, but this is how it's designed. It's designed with controlled inflation so that we don't hold on to it, so that we invest it in the economy. But this controlled inflation has gotten out of control, and inflation is now sky high. So we need to put our money somewhere. But even if we take our fiat and put it in risk-free financial instruments such as bonds and treasuries, the rate likely will not outpace inflation. Therefore, people need to put their money into something that produces even bigger yields, aka something like Bitcoin. And as these banks fail, we have seen a flight into crypto, and this is not what the mainstream expected. For years, the mainstream has been saying, okay, cool, we get it, Bitcoin goes up, but just wait until we have a very bad moment. And we are having that moment right now. But everyone within the crypto space is not surprised because Bitcoin was literally designed for this. Included in the first Bitcoin block is the message, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. Bitcoin was designed for this very moment. And the number of addresses holding more than one Bitcoin has grown to 1 million. And hopefully you are one of these owners or will be very soon. And there's a second transfer of wealth happening, and that is from bad projects in crypto to good projects in crypto. We have the saying in crypto, WGMI, we're all gonna make it. It's not true. Most projects will fail. And this is an interesting tweet. We are likely witnessing a very important wealth transfer. Considerable wealth is being transferred every 10 minutes from speculators. He's referring to people buying ordinals and BRC20 tokens to Bitcoin miners who will use the elevated revenue to build out new operations, furthering network security. So that's the other transfer of wealth. We have several altcoins, there's all of these projects, and like we said, they're not all going to make it. So just because you're in crypto doesn't mean that you're going to be part of this wealth transfer. You still have to be on the right side of the crypto industry. And you're probably wondering, where is all of this wealth transfer money coming from? Isn't Bitcoin just a store of value? A store of value itself can be worth trillions. Gold has a 13.4 trillion market cap, and it's not because it's shiny and pretty. It is because gold has these traits of money, something that almost nothing else in history has been able to maintain. But now we have Bitcoin, which fulfills these properties even better than gold. And if Bitcoin did reach a market cap of 13.4 trillion, that would put Bitcoin at around $640,000 per coin. But I believe Bitcoin has the potential to have an even larger market cap than 13.4 trillion. That is in the long run. And there's a third shift happening. That is from country to country. There are countries that are very harsh with crypto laws, and people and businesses will leave those countries and move to more friendly places such as Dubai, which is very welcoming to crypto. And then of course we have countries such as El Salvador, who has made Bitcoin a legal currency. And get this, El Salvador has officially signed a law eliminating all taxes on income, property, and capital gains for technology innovations. How do you beat this? And of course, the United States is very strict when it comes to crypto and taxes. And Congressman Brad Sherman of California, who hates Bitcoin, has called the Bitcoin Miami 2023 conference a conference for tax evaders. And he's partially right. California has some of the highest taxes in the United States, so it would make sense that people would want to live in places such as Florida or Miami in order to pay lower taxes. If we look at California, guys like Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, Ben Shapiro have left because of these high taxes, and I believe we will see the same in the future for crypto millionaires. We live in a different world today, a world where you can vote with your feet. If you don't like something, you pick up and leave. We have a lot more flexibility than our parents had. There are several wealth transfers happening from the older generation to the younger generation, bad projects to good projects, and country to country. And something else very important to consider in terms of Bitcoin is AI. AI will replace jobs. I know it's a debate, if it will replace jobs or not. It will, guys. It definitely will. The only question is how many jobs. And IBM has come out stating that they are going to pause hiring for jobs that AI could do. Roughly 7,800 IBM jobs could be replaced by AI. And if AI were to replace many jobs, then people wouldn't be able to work. They won't be able to make money. And if that were to happen, we may see a future of universal basic income. And that would lead to money printing. And money printing would lead to fiat losing even more value and people jumping into assets such as Bitcoin and gold. And of course, we have to speak about central bank digital currencies. Nearly every country in the world is working on a central bank digital currency. And eventually, people will realize the dangers of a CBDC when they go ahead and make a purchase and their purchase is canceled or their money is frozen. Presidential candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. stated, "That is why I oppose CBDCs, which will vastly magnify the government's power to suffocate dissent by cutting off access to funds with a keystroke. That's also why I support Bitcoin, which allows people to conduct transactions free from government interference." The problem is most people will only realize this much later on, and at that time, it may be very difficult to get your hands on something like Bitcoin. As Micro Sailor states, Bitcoin while you can, not when you must. Because by the time you must, it may not be possible. And also make sure you're holding this crypto on a self-custody wallet, because if you have your crypto on an exchange, it's not really yours. As we've seen in the past, crypto exchanges go under. Also, crypto exchanges can freeze your money. You want to get that on a self-custody wallet. And this is alarming to see. PayPal is holding 499 million in Bitcoin for its customers. That's up from 291 million in just 4+ months. And this is concerning to see, especially with a company like PayPal. PayPal is known for freezing users' money without even giving an explanation. So keeping your crypto on something like PayPal is, to me, very high risk. And of course, you want to get it on self-custody. Some of the best options are hardware wallets. My favorites are Ledger and Trezor. I think they're both good. My preference, though, is Ledger. I did make a video covering the differences between the two, but whichever one you get, they're both good options. So go ahead and check out this video right here.